Okay, bronze balance. So to continue from where we left off on the last vid, right? I want to get back to the whole dissertation of things because I'm going to actually frame or revise, should I say, a dissertation for the exact thing that we're talking about. I don't believe a transit is necessary to occur, like to have to wait for that transit to occur in order to apply the expressions of the sign with the amplification of the planet being there, because I know the functions and the rules of astrology, and I mean we all do by now if you've been listening to me, of how they are applied. So an environment can be created to replicate those expressions, if you will, or to where the participants have to carry out those expressions. So I know how to do it. I'm going to do it. What exact theory to be applied or hypothesis, how it's going to be phrased, the hypothesis and the null hypothesis, not 100% sure yet, but I guess I'll feel it out with this discussion. But I do want to make it stem from research that I already have along the lines of the wealth and intimacy survey, because I think then it can raise the question, can we actually do this without being stigmatized because there's sex involved? So here goes a case to support my my stance on this, right? Because I remember years ago, probably about around 2002, 2003, maybe even before that, I did a survey on drug use. I mean, it wasn't on drug use, but it was just basically answering questions relative to drug use. And the extensive part of the survey was to be done a certain amount of months later, maybe even a year later, to compare the questions and how I answered them, or whatever the case may be. And, of course, you had to state that you had used drugs or alcohol or whatever the case may be in order to participate in this survey. This is when I used to get down like that. So I did this study. I did, they used to pay me for it and everything. No bullshit, right? So it raises the question, okay, well, if studies can be done in and out when it comes to drugs, why can't they be done when it comes to sex? You understand what I'm talking about? Both have the potential to be harmful as much as they have the potential to show heightened senses of awareness as well, right? Heightened, yeah, pretty much what I said. So what's the difference? What are we doing here? Like, why is this, again, but I've addressed this before. Why is there such a stigma put on sex, right? So I wanted to put that out there because I want more justification of why this can even be put out there, so it's not called illegal prostitution and soliciting services and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it highlights what we've been discussing about intimacy and wealth. Are you engaging in sex just because of the intimate reasons, or are you engaging in sex because of the wealth that's involved with it? We've clarified that wealth is involved with two people who decide to come together because they join their resources. It's an automatic, right? Even if you are individuals who say, okay, my money's my money, your money is your money, that may be different. However, when it's a solidified union, such as a marriage or something like that, those things, have a different effect when you get to tapping into the system, the structure, right? Let me say the structure, because that's what Saturn is doing inside of Scorpio when framing this dissertation. It is structuring the business of not just sex alone, but the psychology that is applied to sex and the rest of the eighth house characteristics that rules over Scorpio. So let's get back to the whole stigma part of why Taurus energy, y'all, not just the people, okay? Taurus energy, whether you're ascendants, moons, whatever, and along with Scorpio energies, how that opposition plays a part in life, to where the money comes into question, right? Because if we're going on the urge of having sex just for intimate purposes, it makes more sense to say that Taurus is ruled by the earth when doing so, because it's tangible. Just like we can touch the ground and feel the earth, we can touch each other and feel each other. Now, this paper money is constructed, right, for us to touch and feel and exchange with each other. However, it's more along the lines of a Venus construct. It's to be exchanged between one or more people, when the definition of Taurus is the self, right? The self and the value that the self places on things that are external from the self, which Venus gets applied to, but it's not necessarily applied to the actual person, the person's body, right? And if those mechanics of Venus are applied to people on Earth, humans, which we've already hinted towards, then to make prostitution or selling one's services that pertain to the body illegal is even more of a ridiculous state of functioning to put people under. It triple makes no sense now, because you're declaring that humans actually have monetary value because they're human. So how are they not able to sell their own services that deal with humanity? You get where I'm going with this? So that would be the intimate side of this whole ordeal. So, for example, if we phrase something to where, or stage something, should I say, in an environment, in a controlled environment that says, okay, because Saturn deals with restraint, Saturn deals with delays sometimes, Saturn deals with the lesson, right? So in a situation where the person who leans towards intimacy more than wealth states, I want to have sex right now. Like, I don't, that's the part of the survey that I want to do. Like, let's fuck right now, right? Let's say, so to speak, that happens. And one of the participants naturally has something to do that entails responsibility. And if they miss that responsibility, then their personal life is somehow fucked up behind it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this with strength as well, because I've actually encountered this when doing some of these studies. I had to go somewhere, and the partner I'm speaking of wanted to go round 3, and I'm like, nah, chick, like, I gotta really go and do something. And they're like, no, you're just saying that, you're making yourself believe that you have to do something else. And I'm like, yo, she's fucking manipulative as fuck, you know what I'm saying? And the average person, or so I guess, you know what I'm saying, I personally know guys who would not have left some pussy to go take care of some other business, you know what I'm saying? It really was a round 3, but still in all, like, I know people who would have been like, man, fuck that other thing that I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna be late or some shit like that. When me, I packed it up and I got out of there to go handle what I needed to handle and be there in a punctual manner. You understand what I'm saying? So, if this happens in an environment where this theory is being applied, the person who values intimacy over wealth would basically experience a derailment, if you will, right? So what would be the alternative to that? Now think about it. If I'm on my way to do something that entails responsibility, and for that matter, this is something that pertained to something that I do to bring me money. So the alternative to that would be, okay, so pay me to stay. You know what I'm saying? I know it might sound awkward to you because I'm a man, but you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea. There's male escorts as well, so it's not like I'm saying some secrets of shit you never heard of before. There really are male escorts out there, y'all. So, the alternative to that would be, well, pay me to stay, and I'll make a call and I'll arrange something, right? But if the person values intimacy over wealth, you can imagine that their response would be like, "Fuck out of here! Like I'm not paying for no dick. Like you got to be out your fucking mind. Like how you look, how you looking at this? How you looking at me? Like I'm not a whore, and whatever the case may be. But it's just like you're coming from a realistic point of view if we're talking about what we're talking about here. And not only that, how many or can you fathom, should I say, because I'm not just going to assume that you've been through situations like that, but can you fathom someone, whether male or female, offering their significant other, excuse me, I keep saying other, like, but offering them money to stay home for that day, like, stay off work, take off work pay, call out sick and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And you can imagine what this person wants to do with you, you know what I'm saying, without it actually being spoken of. Now, okay, maybe it is to go out and get some fucking chocolates or go to IHOP or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But you can ultimately guess what else is expected to take place during that day. Now, whether you've been in that situation or not before, that's up to you. You can get in the comment section. You can let me know if you have or not. You know what I'm saying? That's your personal business. But I just want you to understand the perspective that I'm coming from so that it doesn't seem too foreign or alien or even degrading to the fact that it can't be discussed. Like, these are real world issues, economic issues at that if we keep going under the guise of what normality is or what is expected from us as gender species and humanity, then we can miss the whole point of what is subconsciously being acted out or what is unconsciously being acted out, which to me is terrible when you're unconscious and aware of what you are participating in that doesn't benefit you but benefits someone who can't see you, may not even know you, know what you look like, but just has a system or structure, right, set in place that knows these things that we're discussing right now to the level of enabling its application in real world mechanics while the participants are none the wiser. And I wouldn't even be upset at that because my thing would be is, oh, okay, well, I learned. Thanks for the lesson. You know what I'm saying? But some of these issues can be so intensified that they're traumatizing. And then it's just like, it's like, but you still, I mean, the honorable thing to do is to blame yourself. Like, okay, if I had that knowledge, if I was more equipped with it, I wouldn't have been victimized or felt subject to this influence that now I know is more about wealth, right? And the person who is more wealth driven, who offers money for sex, and who, let's say, if they get to the heightened point to where they continuously offer money for sex to their partner, who they prefer and value, whatever the case may be, right? And then it's to the point where, despite the money, that partner needs some solace time or just time alone to reflect and replenish themselves and get some type of individual closure without the presence of that partner around, right? So then even this individual will have to experience the restraint that's involved with Saturn, experience the business aspect of it as well, because the more you wear and tear at if we're calling ourselves human commodities at this point, the more that we are not able to perform optimally, if you understand what I'm saying. Right? So do you want to tear down your human commodity to the point where they're not capable of making you feel good? Or can you wait it out? Can you let them heal? Can you let them go drink pineapple juice and shit and fucking goji berries and fucking do yoga and shit and get right again? Experience some things outside of you so that when it comes down to it again, they good. You know what I mean? They might have money stacked through the roof because you just keep coming back for it. And of course they're going to be like, yeah, my shit is good, so I get it. You know what I mean? But still, this can result in people being disturbed, whether mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So, dissertation time.